What's up, Saints and Aints? Welcome back to another episode of Music and Makeup. This is a special segment I like to call Behind the Beat, where I sit down with artists who are making serious noise in their lanes. Today's guest is a DJ, rapper, entrepreneur, and cultural curator from putting on to the 757 with his mixtape Something in the Blender to dropping gems on his own album Million Dollar Phone. This man has lived hip hop from every angle. Please welcome to the podcast, King Kong Gotcha. Welcome,
Yo,
welcome,
what it do?
welcome.
What it do? What's going on with you?
Nothing much. So, for folks who are just might be getting familiar, I always like to ask, just tell us a little about yourself.
I go by King Kong Gotcha. Some know me by No Doubt. Some know me by Dout Gotcha. I got a lot of AKAs out there. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Man, I've been in this music game for a very long time from the standpoint, the DJ standpoint, like you said, a curator or a ranger. I got a long history in this game. Probably as a solo artist, I probably got, man, at least over 30, 40 projects out there in the world. As far as a DJ, I probably got about 50, 60 mixtapes. I just put in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? I put in a lot of work coming from the mud. You know what I'm saying? Coming from nothing. So,
Now, I was going to say, you, of course, you are a product of the 757. Now, how did the area maybe help shape your sound when it came to your music or even DJing?
Well, in our area, the mixtape game was very big, but we didn't have too many DJs in the mixtape game. I can shout out DJ B. I remember him being one of the DJs locally that I seen on the mixtape scene as far as for Flavor for You. If anybody was, in the mixtape game, they know Flavor for You across from Booker T was popping. Parking lot across from Norfolk State with Clipse selling all the mixtapes right there. 7-Eleven was popping. All the flea markets was popping. I got to give it up to Joe Pro. Joe Pro was on top of his game as far as for the mixtape game, but he was more on the down south, booty shaking that thing. But he still owned that. And as far as for me, I was more so strictly for the streets. I did mine strictly to feed the streets. New exclusives, new freestyles that you never heard before. Maybe some artists you never heard before. A lot of songs that you probably never heard to this day that I put out on mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? So that was my lane, was just being exclusive and always being ahead of the game. That was my lane. You know what I'm saying? To tap into your question on what you said, how VA
Uh-huh.
shaped my sound. I knew I had to be different, but I knew I had to fit into the lane. But I had to use our lingo, our style, and I had to kind of cater to where we were because at the time you couldn't just go to New York and blow up through the mixtape game. You got to blow it where
Mm-hmm.
you from. So I blew it where I was from first. Then I took it on the road from Connecticut all the way down to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So VA helped me shape my sound as far as for curating and putting everything into one package when I drop. You're gonna get freestyles, you're gonna get R&B, you're gonna get hip hop, you're gonna get everything. And I think that's what VA is. It's a mixture of everything.
What was your start into DJing?
I always wanted to be a DJ. I always admired the DJ. Like I grew up in an era where it was the MC and the DJ. It was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It was Eric B and Rakim. The DJ was first before the MC. Eric B was a major influence to me because he was one of the first DJs I seen that had more jury than the rapper. So that put me directly where I wanted to be. Like that's where I want to be. I want to do that, and I want to rock crowds. I want to rock arenas. So that was my goal, and it came true. You know what I'm saying? I made it come
You
true.
said you had a lot of mixtapes, and I know a lot of your mixtapes are what kind of broke the Clipse in the town. How was in the area during that time. A lot of
hmm
us, that was the first time that we heard a Clipse song was through a Dout Gotcha tape. How did that whole era come about?
Okay, so maybe I was in the 10th grade, and it was a homegirl of mine named Shayna. She's still my homegirl to this day. We still chop it up every other day on Instagram. She was in my class, and she knew of the Clipse. Never heard of the Clipse. Never heard of Star Trek. Never heard of any of that shit. But she was bringing it to class. She'll bring her CD Walkman. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
And she'll be bringing these CDs and playing these songs for me. So the Clipse was about to drop this single called "Got Caught Dealing." I had that single maybe 60 days before they put it out because she gave it to me on a burnt CD. So I put it on a mixtape. So that, like I told you, like I always was ahead of the game when it came to exclusives. That was my thing. So she would tell me like, yeah, it's the two brothers, you know, they from around your neighborhood and blah 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 blah. I'm like, man, I don't know these niggas, you know what I'm saying? So as time goes on, time goes on, time goes on, I'm DJing in Legends in Military Circle, and Malice comes in there. And when Malice comes in there, at the same time he's coming in there, I'm playing the exclusive that I got from New York, a white label vinyl that nobody has. It's off of their album that hasn't the first album that never came out. I
Uh
already
huh.
had that on vinyl and I was playing it as he walked in. Like, I don't know, it just happened simultaneously. So he comes straight to the booth, like, yo, where you get that from? I'm like, New York. He like, New York, New York, where? He was like, that shit ain't even out. We ain't even put that out yet. I was like, man, that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? I get exclusives. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So we exchanged numbers and he's like, yo, anytime you need something, give me a holler. So I had got the Elizabeth City University homecoming, and they wanted me to DJ. I was probably 15, 16. I got 1,500. I remember how much I got paid. I got paid 1,500. I was like 15 years old, and I'm thinking in my head, yo, it's a good idea if I reach out to them. They got a single out, you know what I'm saying? And at this time, the single was The Funeral.
I remember that.
Right, the single was The Funeral. So I hit Malice. I was like, yo, I'm doing Elizabeth City homecoming. It'll be cool if y'all stop by, do the joint. They came. The rest is history. You know what I'm saying? That was the first. That was our first encounter. You know what I'm saying? And from there, it was just like this, man. This was my motto. If I could do a mixtape and put every nigga on it from New York, I can't put no niggas on it from my city, I shouldn't be doing no mixtapes.
That's
At this
true.
time, at this time, it was very territorial, very geographical. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, it was just like, man, I'm putting these niggas on the mixtape. So I started sprinkling them in here and there, here and there, here and there. Then, as time progressed, Tony Gonzalez, aka Jeezy, which became their manager, he was also my manager at a point in time for Soul Provider Management. He reached out after I brought them down to North Carolina, like, hey, the guys want you to become their DJ. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let's sit down, talk about it, and let's see how we can work it out. So when I leave the meeting, I get an idea like, yo, I'm about to drop a mixtape. Let me do the best of the I do the best of the Clipse first or the best of Star Trek? I did the best of Star Trek first, and then I did the best of the Clipse part one. That's what bubbled the Clipse sound in the streets was best of the Clipse part one for sure. It's still out right now. Anybody can Google it, they can pull it up. Best of the Clipse part one, DJ No Doubt.
What was one of the biggest lessons like you learned from that time?
This is just one. I learned many, but one is networking and relationships. Okay, I give you a prime example. So I'm a fast forward from what we just was talking about the mixtape game. Now we fast forward to the point of I drop out of college and I go on the road with them. Community college, by the way.
It's okay.
Community college, by the way.
College.
So
It's all right. It's
so
all college.
right. So I drop out of college. I go on the road with them. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I don't know what's what. Okay, so they're pushing the single grinding. So we're basically on a promo tour promoting grinding. We're going city to city, state to state, pushing grinding, right? Now, what I've seen through this run is this. You're liable to take off first, not at home, elsewhere. So the first market to pick us up and start blasting off was in Chicago. DJ, I want to say his name is DJ Ferris. He's in Chicago. He was the first one to blast off with grinding. Second was DJ Cosmic Kev in Philadelphia. Now I think Virginia was maybe third or fourth, right? So this is what I learned about that time period. My pops was very tight with the head lady over there at Clear Channel 103, right? So at the time, grinding wasn't getting any play in Virginia. Nobody was playing grinding like they were supposed to be playing it, right?
Uh
So my
huh.
pops, my pops called Janet. Her name was Janet. My pops called Janet and was like, "Hey, look, my son DJing for this group. They signed the Arista records, but they not getting the proper spins that they supposed to get to break their record. Blah blah blah. I need you to sit down with them and Pharrell, and I need you to get their record popping." They had a meeting, and the next day, that shit was in full rotation. So what I mean
That's
by that is the power of relationships and the power of networking overrides all that stardom shit niggas talking about. They the biggest producer in the world, the biggest record label. That shit mean nothing if you ain't got no lines. You feel me?
That's right.
So basically, out of that situation, I learned to always keep a line, always keep something that's important that can take me to the next level, and never burn bridges. Never burn the people that you networking with, because you never know, how the favors can be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That is very true. So I wanted to shift now to your music. I
Okay.
wanted to get into like talk about $1 Million Phone. Now,
Okay.
what was the concept behind the title? Because I really like that album.
Well, it's crazy that we just segued into $1 Million Phone, and we were just talking about networking and having lines. So I look at my phone as $1 million phone. Like, there's a lot of numbers in this phone that can turn into money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So $1 million, like, it's something that every hustler should have. If you don't have $1 million phone, you're not a hustler. That's just, and it don't have to be drugs. I don't care if you're selling green beans or string strings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't
Right.
matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. Like, your phone need to be $1 million phone at all times. You should be able to accumulate $1 million out of your phone. Maybe not at one time, but
Hmm.
the contacts in your phone mean something. That's basically what it is. $1 million phone, the contacts in your phone mean something.
That's right.
And if you look at the front of the project, it's a payphone. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And back in the '80s, you had a beeper, but the beeper didn't mean shit if you didn't have what?
A payphone.
There you go.
Yep. You had that payphone, that quarter, a quarter
Yeah,
or a dime.
there you go. There you go. That's it. Yeah.
Hey, what were some of the songs like? What maybe it's a song on there that like hit home the closest for you, or one that you kind of favored, either lyrically or sound wise?
The one that hit my heart the most is the one after the intro, Deep in My Heart, when my mom talking at the beginning. A lot of people can't talk to me because they don't understand me. So it's impossible to talk to somebody that you don't understand. So my
That's
mom,
right.
she understand me. She always game me up. She give me game. She's a big time hustler. She got 4 or 5 avenues of revenue. Always have, like, so I always listen to my mom and the game that she got to give me. And that song, I put her at the beginning of the record because that was a pivotal time for me. I was recording Loose Diamonds project in LA, and it was
Hmm.
it was a late night, and she was just telling me about energy and how to guard my energy and make my circle smaller, and things of that nature. Just something that I needed at the time. And she didn't know I was recording. I recorded it and kept it for a certain time, not even knowing it was going to be for that song, but I kept it and it fit perfect for that song. So Deep in My Heart is probably the one that cracked the seal for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that one, and I wanted to talk too, like production wise too, because that one was a song I really loved the beat on that. Who did you link up with on production on that album, and how did you approach like the overall sound? What were you like looking for sound wise?
Well, me, I'm a soul guy. I rap from my soul. I speak from my soul. I make soul music. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, but the type of soul beats that I didn't want like the Kanye West soul beats. I wanted that shit you gonna feel in your spine, like the joint I grabbed from the OJs. You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I? Like, shit to make you think and shit to make you feel a certain way. Like, so that's what I was aiming for. I was aiming for a soulful feeling. So if you go through every track, there's some type of soulful sample in there of the voice, not really the instruments being soul, but a soulful sample of a voice. If you go
Hmm.
through the actual tape, it's in every song, every song. So yeah, man, I just put my soul on that joint. You know what I'm saying? As far as for production, I had a few beats that I had tucked away, but a lot of the
Hmm.
joints that you hearing me run on are actually joints I looped from the actual soul record. For example, if you hear Biggie "One More Chance," right? I wouldn't
Uh-huh.
rap over "One More Chance." I would rap over El DeBarge instrumental, the instrumental of the actual El DeBarge record. So that's what I
Got
do.
you.
You know what I'm saying? That's the DJ part. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. All right.
Mhm.
So now I want to talk too about something in the blender because that was your most recent mixtape. Now, then that tape more so was geared towards like celebrating talent in the 757 because I know you plucked a couple of producers and artists for that one. What sparked that idea?
Well, I had that idea when I was part of the opioid era. That was a mixtape that we was going to drop for something in the water. It was gonna be like
Mm.
a big promo. I came up with the whole little concept, and I didn't want to trash the concept. So
Yeah.
shit, I went to the studio and laid it myself, and I put it out myself. You know, it was my idea, so it was up to me whether if I wanted to trash it or not. And I just felt like, why trash it? It's a good idea. It's a good concept. Nobody done it, and I put it out.
How did you go about choosing which producers and artists to feature on it?
Something in the blender is all instrumentals.
Hmm.
They're all instrumentals, but what I did was I went for each producer. I went for Knots, I went for Tim, I went for Pharrell, I went for Bink, and I got instrumentals from most records that people wouldn't rap or
Hmm.
haven't rapped over. You know what I'm saying? Like I rapped over the Missy joint, Bite My Style off the
So,
Missy joint. And that first Missy album, man, I bought that joint like 5 or 6 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nobody ever rapped over that beat. So I was like, man, let me
yeah.
grab that joint. Like, and that was my whole, that was my whole thing, was just rapping over beats from VA producers that most people, don't rap over.
And that's like a good way too to shine a light. I always say on unearth older songs. I like a good deep cut, and that's a good way to shine a light on those. So, are you thinking about doing another installment? Would you think of bringing that concept back, or was that a one and done?
Mm, I would bring it back, but it's like it's not a lot of beats from VA producers that haven't been rapped over. So them
Mm-hmm.
joints that I grabbed, they were rare. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would do it if I could get a good batch. I would do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not something I'm focused on. I probably harvested too long. I should have been put that out. I had that concept for years. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? The actual opioid era, we were supposed to do that maybe 2 years in a row and never did it. So I probably had that idea for 3 years or 4 years before I even put it out. So yeah, that it might be a one and done. If I can't find a good batch, it's a one and done. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I know that you DJ, but you don't just DJ around the area. You DJ a lot in Colombia. And I wanted to talk to you about like life in Colombia because that is a very different. That's why I said you live a very multifaceted life. What brought you to Colombia, and how has that like transition for you been creatively?
Well, I'm in Colombia right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm in Colombia right now. As far as
Nice.
for DJing here, it's different but all the same. If you know how to create atmosphere. You come with your own style of how you DJ, and you don't switch it up because you're in a different place. People will gravitate to you more. So it's been more like that for me. When I'm here, if I choose, I'll DJ maybe 3 or 4 times a week. I got a homie out here named DJ Free. He's probably like one of the top DJs out here. So different situations come about. He asked me if I want to be down, and I be down. I've done from the clubs to the outside events to the rooftops to the block parties. I've done it all. They love hip hop here. They love dance hall here. Of course, they love reggaeton, the Spanish trap, and all of that is a obvious. You know what I'm saying? But pretty much, it'll fool you because they really know hip hop. Like you could play a mob deep, you could play drop a gem on them and they know it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Like you be in there like, damn. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
man. So um, I think how it shaped me more culturally. I'm more cultural now. You know what I'm saying? Like my Spanish is getting better. Just things that we take for granted. Back in America, it kind of opened your eyes. Being that we going through turmoil that we going through, you know, back at home, it kind of opened your eyes to, how they always say, "Oh, America's the best." It's really not the best. If you don't got peace of mind, it's not the
Yep.
best. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And staying in America, you don't have no peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
One thing that I learned down here is, let me say it correctly, how they said, we live to work and not work to live. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I learned that. You know what I'm saying? Like, back home you just chasing money all the time, chasing, chasing, chasing. But when you get somewhere and you got some peace, some money might come by. You might not even be enthused. Like, nah, I'm cool. I ain't DJing tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'll catch y'all
Uh-huh.
during the weekend or something. You know what I'm saying? Like back home, it's like, yo,
You
all
have
right,
to.
I'm booked tonight. I'm booked tomorrow. I'm booked. Nah, sometimes you gotta, pump your brakes. You know what I mean?
I saw a video earlier today where a man, I didn't see what country he moved to, but he said most people, when they move to another country from America, they sleep. The first you do is get like a lot of sleep. And they said because for the first time, you're not exhausted from like chasing money. Like your body is truly like gets your mental and all that like rest. Are there any like local artists or movements out there that you've been like excited about or that you see developing?
Well, one of my avenues is consulting, as far as for marketing and branding. That's one of my side things that I do. So it's a couple independent companies that I was hired, maybe a 3 month stint, a 6 month stint. So it's definitely talent out here. I think it just needs to be more organized. I think that they can build a very big independent lane. They can have their own Empire Records type of situation out here if they really, sit down and build it up. A lot of the artists that I'm seeing like now is from Medellin, but the artists that I was hired to work with, they were from Cartagena, which is on the coast. So yeah, they're dope, man. They got dope artists out here. They got dope DJs. They got dope stylists and hairstylists and nail techs and it's different from home. Like their fashion, the jeans the girls wearing that's tight at the waist, but they're more like flare barrel bottoms, like going to the bottom.
Uh huh.
Right. So they're like popular now. They were popular here like 3 years ago. I seen them like girls down here doing that, like wearing Vans and Chucks and with the bell
Uh
bottom
huh.
type what do you call them, taper jeans.
Taper
You know,
jeans. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like their fashion is on point because they got Italian influence, European influence, Latin influence, and then you know urban influence from America. You know what I'm saying?
So a little of everything. Now
Yeah.
I was gonna talk to about Smoke One, your podcast.
hmm
What got that started? What made you want to launch your own podcast?
I had the idea, like I said, for some years, and I just thought it was the right time. Like at the time, it was the beginning of a relationship with a brand called Supply Chain, and
Hmm.
it was a great opportunity. Like I just told you, I do consulting, branding, and marketing, and promo, and strategies, and all that. So my thing
Uh-huh.
is, okay, we can push two things at one time. We can push the supply chain brand, and we can also push the Smoke One with Me brand. They both go together, and also supply chain is also not fashion, but it's also a clothing brand. It's a clothing line. So we packaging everything together. So my thing was, okay, I don't want to do the regular podcast where you got to come and sit down with me if you come to Virginia, if you come to Columbia. No, no, no. I want to come to where you at. So
Uh
let's say you in Arizona, you only in Arizona for 4 days. Yo, I'm shooting to Arizona. Or when I went to go see Mr. Fab, he's in Oakland. I go see Shice Bub, he's in Harlem. I go see, you know, Louis the 13th, he's in LA, like all these people are, pull up appointments, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I came up with the concept. I don't want you to come to me, I want to come to you.
All right. So it seems like you've blended weed culture and storytelling together. So how do you
hmm
curate each episode? Like, what's the priority? How do you like curate each episode to be, as well rounded as they are?
Okay, appreciate it. I just keep it natural as possible. My situation, I'm only really sitting down with people that I personally know. So anybody you see me sit down with, I personally know them. Like Mr.
Hmm.
Fab, you know what I'm saying? He's probably the biggest entrepreneurial rapper from the Bay. I've been knowing bro for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a locked in relationship. We got plenty of stories to share. You know what I'm saying? Shice Bub, I didn't know Shice Bubs prior, but I knew somebody that knew him, which was Nkasa. So we had a mutual friend, and it goes on and on and on like that. I'm never reaching out to somebody that's not in arm's reach. That's not my thing. I have to know you, or somebody right next to me knows you. Other than that, I really don't want the interview. That's how I'm carrying
That's
it. So that's the basis of it. You know what I'm saying?
that's good discernment. So, what has podcasting taught you about connecting with your audience in a new way?
I'm gonna answer that in 1 second. I'm gonna tap back into what you were just saying about the storytelling. Um,
Hmm.
on the storytelling side, it's a lot of things that all of us we have seen, we have been through, and nobody knows about them. And my stories are historic. So I got
Uh
another
huh.
part of the podcast that's coming out called "I Got a Story to Tell." So that's coming out soon. I'm starting to shoot that within the next 60 days. So once I start shooting that and getting those episodes up, I'll start putting those out. I just have a segment of straight storytelling. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, everybody gotta look out for that because I'm telling y'all some real shit.
Yes.
I'm talking about like real shit, Suge Knight stories, all kind of shit. Like I got some shit.
All right. Yeah, I look forward to it. I like a good storytelling, like documentary type podcast.
A lot of people tell me that they never seen me in the light like on Smoke One With Me, right? And most of the time when you're an artist, you're only letting out so much of yourself. I
Hmm.
think within lyric and rhyme, I'm giving you enough. Like I don't really have to show nothing on Instagram. I don't have to, that's just the era we from. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
um, being a host of a show, I'm not the King Kong Gotcha, that just put out a project and I'm trying to push it and I'm trying to do this and that and shoot a video and no 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 no. These are conversations that I'm having with people that I know or semi know, and we just kicking it. We talking about culture, we talking about art, we talking about music, we talking about fashion, we talking about cannabis. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about everyday everybody else talks about. You know what I'm saying? And it just puts me in another light because you're not going to see me laugh and joke on a video.
Hmm.
That's just not. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it could.
Right.
It could be, but you know what I'm saying. It's just not happening. So that's one thing. Um, and also, people get to see what other people think of me. It's not all
That's
about
true.
what I think about myself. It's what people think about me as well. Like these people wouldn't take time out their day and take me around their city and do all that. If I was a buster, if I was an off brand or out of bounds nigga, you know what I'm saying?
True.
Like so, all of that sheds light on what I'm trying to get people to see that yeah, it's not all about rap. Like I'm a real person. I done real things. Like I got real accolades out here, real stripes. So, it's not all about rap. Everybody think rap, 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 rap.
This is a good way to connect with your audience in a different way. Just like you said, to give a little bit more context to who you are. And
Hmm.
I think that's awesome. I personally like when artists do that because it gives more understanding to the music when you're listening to it. So I
Right.
wanted to talk real quick about supply chain. So you were just doing the branding for that. And I wanted to ask like a little bit deeper, how did that come to life?
Well, I'm doing the branding, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the strategizing. A lot of things behind the scenes that I don't even take credit for because I'm a team player. Even if I'm this the spearhead of the situation, I'm still playing the team at all times.
Uh-huh.
That situation came about because the owner of supply chain had a clothing company. Back when I was DJing for the Clipse, the clothing brand was named Driving Ambition, DNA.
Mm.
And he had hollered at me back then to, push the brand and get the brand out there. And, back then I'm in 2 or 3 different cities a night and running around. So I would throw their clothes on MTV and, here and there and everywhere I was going, I was representing Virginia Beach. You know what I'm saying? Representing something that was
Right.
homegrown. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that was 2000. That was early 2000s. And we linked back up maybe 2023, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm working on supply chain, blah 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 blah. I want to bring you on board." We sat down, we talked, and we came up to an agreement, and we got to work.
And what separates yours brand from the others in this space? And I will say I do like the packaging. There's a lot of different cannabis lines out, and I was gonna say what sets yours apart.
I think because we always think of Virginia Beach. Like if you look at the name of the strands, as far as the King Neptunes and
Mm-hmm.
just Beach Cruiser. These are all things that correlate with Virginia Beach. You know what I'm saying? And we try to be the best boutique cultivation company out there. We care about the quality. It's not about, anything other than the quality. The branding, taking time, doing it the right way, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, staying within the boundaries of growth. Because if you
Yes.
don't stay within the boundaries of growth, you're gonna think you're bigger than what you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's never us. We always, hand in hand with the people, in contact with the people. We care about what the people think. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, just quality. You bring in quality. You bring in quality.
You've had your hands in so many different lanes. I would say, what would you ultimately want your legacy to be?
Someone that really chased their dream. All of this shit that happened in my life that came to fruition. All of it was a dream. You know what I'm saying? Like DJing, period, a dream. Rapping, a dream. Touring the world, DJing in front of 100,000, 60,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people never seen 60,000 people?
That's true.
I DJ for 60,000 people and I rock them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done dream shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I've done dream shit, man. And I just want my legacy to be chase your dream, not on no cliche shit, man. Because a lot of times when you thinking of things, it seems so far away. You might not have
hmm
the money, you might not have the experience, you might not have the connection, whatever the case may be, man. How can a car move if the engine never starts?
that's
You know
right.
what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Like, how can the car ever move? So, that's my motto. I gotta start it. You know what I mean? If I can start it, I can drive. That's what I want my legacy to be, man. Like, chase it, man, for real. Like, live it.
So, what can we expect next? Any new music on the way?
I got a project that I wrote. I messed my leg up, right? So I was down for like 30 days. And during that 30 days, I wrote like two projects. So one of the projects I'm ready to lay down and put that out. But as far as for like Gas on Go, I got a project called VVS, which is very,
Nice.
very special. You know what I'm saying? It's a three-part album. It's like 24 tracks total. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, we anticipate it. And just let our audience know real quick where they can tap into your work on social media. I'm going to post your Bandcamp in the description with all of your work, but where they can find you on social media.
Instagram is King Kong Gotcha. The regular way you spell it, KingKongGotcha. Yeah, if you go there, you can get everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The band camp for sure. All the projects is on there. The new singles that's coming from VVS, they're up there. Thunder and Lightning, Deep in the Game as well. So, just fuck with it. That's all I can
All
tell you.
right.
Oh, and the
All
visuals,
right.
the visuals. Go to YouTube. I got
Yeah.
plenty of visuals. Not even just from now. Like a lot of people don't know. Like I say, a lot of aliases. So if you put in Dout Gotcha into YouTube, you're gonna get a whole different batch than if you put in King Kong Gotcha.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know that. So you can tap in both names, and I got tons of videos and tons of content for everybody to check out and tap in.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you
Um,
for having me. Make sure y'all y'all listen to her. She knows her hip hop. She
All
knows
right.
her hip hop. I'm not just doing. Listen to me, y'all. I'm not just doing anybody's interview. I don't got time like that. You feel me?
Look,
So she knows her hip hop and just listen to what she got to say because 90% of the time she's right.
listen, thank you. I appreciate that, Dout. That means something. That's why I said this is very special because I know you do not sit down with any and everybody. So I really appreciate you coming on the podcast and talking to me. It means the world. That is our episode, Saints and Eights. Make sure you like and subscribe for the latest in music and makeup and interviews. That is my time. Till next time, love you. Bye.